For some time now I've been wanting to put a handle onto my miter gauge, and I finally got around to doing it. And there's several advantages to having this on here. If I don't have the handle, then my right hand is much closer to the blade, and I really don't like that. With my hand up here, it's much further from the blade or the blade guard. The other thing it does is it gives me more downward control. If I have to press down on it, it gives me control that way. But it also gives me control as I'm pushing it forward. So I feel like I've got an awful lot more control over the workpiece as I'm feeding it into the blade. And again, keeps me away from that blade. So let's break this down and start looking at the individual components. First, let's take a look at how the handle is mounted into the miter gauge itself. We're taking advantage of the threaded hole at the center of the front of the miter gauge and using about 3/4 of an inch of threading to go down into that threaded hole. Now let's take a look at the handle off of the miter gauge. Here you can see the handle assembled. So we got washers on both ends keeping that white tubing in place, and I'm going to show you the interior in just a moment. And again, it goes into that little threaded hole right there. But I'm going to show you the individual components here in just a moment, how all this goes together. Now let's look at the individual components. We've got one 6-inch bolt, 2 washers, and 4 nuts. Now you notice on the top end of the bolt, I've got that nut just underneath the washer. That's so that that piece of tubing doesn't wobble or shift around. Then in the center, I've done the same thing. I've got another nut there to keep it centered in the center there. It doesn't wobble around. And finally, I've done the same thing at the very end, just before the washer, okay? So you're going to need 4 nuts, 2 washers, and 1 6-inch bolt. This is 3/8, and of course I put the parts in the description below. And then there's the handle material. That's the Apollo PEX tubing, 3/4 inch. Is going to fit that bolt. So you can take this with your cell phone to the hardware store. I happen to get this at Home Depot, and look all these parts up and make your own handle. This costs less than $5. Well, I hope you found this video useful. If you did, please press like and of course share with your friends. I have several other videos related to the RIDGID compact table saw, and I put the links to those in the description below, so make sure you check them out. If you're not already a subscriber, I would love to have you as a subscriber. Thanks for watching, and as always, good luck on your projects.